Welcome back to Brick by Brick. Today we'll be going through some of the LEGO sets that are going to be retiring soon. I'll be letting you guys know whether or not I decided to invest in some of these sets, and I'll be telling you guys the best time frame for you to start investing in LEGO. So we'll get started off with the Star Wars section, just because that's where I have the majority of my investing collection. And in this latest wave of sets that are going to be retiring soon, you have the Defense of Hoth set. And I got one of these in my collection. I don't think it'll do as well as the Clone Trooper Battle Pack, but I do think it'll be an okay investment. And throughout this video, I'll just be using this Brick Economy website. It's not a perfect indicator of when sets will be retiring, but none of the websites that try to predict it are, but it does a pretty decent job. It's also just the site I use to track my investing collection in LEGO, so I may as well keep using it. Next up, we have a couple Millennium Falcon sets. I don't currently have any of those in my collection. I have before, and they've been pretty great investments. I was able to get a really great profit off of one of the Millennium Falcon sets. So I do think that each of them will do pretty well. I do think that the investing potential of the Collector Series one is going to do a lot better than the Rise of Skywalker one. But it does have a much higher price barrier to entry of $850, which is pretty pricey. Next up, we have the AT-AT. So this set retails for $170. I got two of them in my collection. I was able to get them for 20% off, and I do think that they'll end up doing pretty well. It's got a pretty famous build from the Star Wars franchise, in this case the AT-AT. It's got a bunch of great minifigures and some good playability features, and it also is just a very aesthetic piece, so people are likely going to be willing to pay premium for it even after it retires. Next up, we have some Mandalorian sets. I currently don't have any of those two in my collection, but when we get to the Luke Skywalker's X-Wing fighter, I have 4 of these in my collection. I think they'll end up doing really well. I was able to get them for 20% off, which was a good deal, and they retail for $50. They have 4 minifigures and 474 pieces. I think it'll end up doing pretty well. It's got a very iconic build from the LEGO Star Wars franchise. One of the most, I would say, and it's generally sets like it have done well in the past, so that trend will likely continue with this latest version of the Luke Skywalker's X-Wing fighter. Next up, we have some Super Mario sets. So there are currently only 2 listed here that are retiring soon, according to Brick Economy. And the only one I've got is the Adventures with Mario set, which I have 2 of, and I think that this set will end up doing pretty well. Brick Economy seems to agree. They think that it'll end up probably getting about a 77.7% return on investment, which is pretty good, and I do think that it'll become more and more collectible just because it's one of the few sets that have a playable character in it that will allow you to interact with the other LEGO Mario sets. So I think that that'll help make it an even better investment after it retires. Next up, we have some LEGO Technic sets. I currently don't have any of these in my investing collection, but I do have the Ferrari 488 GTE set right here. I think it would probably be a good investment. I opened it and built it, so I don't think it'll do as well, but it could end up doing well. And some of these other Technic sets could also end up doing very well. And then we'll just scroll on up here. There's some seasonal sets. I currently don't have any of those ones that are retiring soon. Then there's Ninjago. I currently only have 1 Ninjago set in my investing collection, but some of the Ninjago sets have ended up doing really well, so there's some potential there, but they're a little more risky of an investment compared to a LEGO Star Wars set or a LEGO Harry Potter set or something a little more safe. Next up, we have some Monkey Kid sets. I don't have any of those in my collection. There's also some of these Minecraft sets here. So Brick Economy says that some of these could end up doing really well. This Llama set, surprisingly, has a pretty high return on investment. It's pretty unique, so I could see possibly why. But this set right here, the Abandoned Mine, it's a little safer of an investment, I would think. It's more iconic Minecraft, so people might be a little more willing to pay premium for it after it retires. But there's a couple of good options here. I have 1 Minecraft set in my collection, and it's done pretty well. Next up, we have some Icon sets, as well as some Harry Potter sets. I've got some of these in my collection. For example, the Hogwarts Castle set. So this set I was able to get for a little under retail, and Lego increased the price of it from $400 to $470, so I was already able to get a good return on investment before the set even retired, and I do think that once it retires it'll do pretty well. Brick Economy seems to agree that it'll have a good return on investment, and I'm especially excited for that since this is the most valuable set in my Lego collection at the moment, so I'm excited for it to retire and for it to go up in value so I'm able to sell it and make some profit. Next up, we have some exclusive sets, some friend sets, a Ghostbuster set. I currently don't have any of those in my collection, as well as some Duplo sets. Also don't have any of those. And then we have some Disney sets here. I think some of these can end up doing pretty well. This Mickey and Minnie's camping trip could do well. It's got a 90.9% expected growth. And some of these other ones could do well. I would go with the more iconic Disney sets compared to the less known options. And then we have some creator sets as well as some Lego City sets. I have this set in my collection, the Reckless Scorpion Stunt Bike. I ended up just getting this one because I wanted to get free shipping, and I had some extra VIP rewards points, so I ended up buying this set. It's certainly very unique, so I do think it could end up doing all right, but I don't have super high hopes for it in terms of an investment. Next up, we have some other Disney sets here. Disney says that the 100th anniversary, or not Disney, Brick Economy says that this 100th anniversary one is probably going to be the better performing option compared to these 3 Disney ones. There's a few other options here. I do have 3 of the Mandalorian and the Child sets in my collection. I was able to get these for 40 or 50% off, so I was able to get them for a pretty good deal off. And I don't think they'll do as well as some of the other Lego Star Wars brickheads, like the Obi-Wan's brickhead, but I do think it'll do pretty well and will likely be able to at least get back to retail so I can make some profit. Next up, we have some of these architecture sets. The only one I currently have in my collection is the Statue of Liberty set, but there are a few others. The White House one, which I do have, but it's open and built, and then there's the Paris set, and the London set, and the New York City set. So I decided to invest in the Statue of Liberty set just because it's a very iconic landmark, and I thought it would end up being a good aesthetic piece for collectors to have in their collection. So I ended up getting one of them, and I was able to get it for, I think, about 20 or 25% off, which was a good way to purchase the set on sale. Feel free to let me know if you have any other questions.